It is now 7 o'clock. We will begin the Mayor and Aldermen meeting for December 5th, 2013. We do have a quorum. Everyone is here tonight. The prayer will be by myself, and Vice Mayor Farmer will lead us in the pledge. If everyone would please stand. Dear gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and the many blessings that you've bestowed upon this city. Please be with each and every citizen in the counties around us and the states around us as we're going to be heading into the winter season tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. Be with our emergency personnel as they're out trying to protect everyone. Be with our soldiers as they fight wars and are away from their families this Christmas season. Be with each and every one of us, Lord, and please help us make the right decisions for this city. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we need approval of the minutes for November 5th, 2013 public hearing and November 5th regular meeting.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Department reports. Fire Department.
Mayor, Alderman, for the month of November 2013, a total of 151 calls consisted of 3 structure fires, 16 fire alarms, 2 vehicle fires, 4 hazardous materials calls, 32 motor vehicle accidents, 73 medical calls, 10 emergency miscellaneous calls, and 11 non-emergency miscellaneous calls. Average response time for the month of November 2013 was 3.4 minutes, and total water consumption was 2,300 gallons. Any questions?
Questions? Thank you. Police Department.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman, you have the report there, and it's pretty self-explanatory. There are a couple of things I'd like to highlight for you, though. One of the things that we've talked about in the past are our domestic violence calls, and through yesterday, for the most part, compared to last year, we had 2 more calls than we had last year at this time. But our domestic assault calls have decreased by 16.2%, and our aggravated domestic assault calls have decreased by 6.3%. The increase actually came from domestic trouble calls, which would be where Vicki and I get in an argument at the house and one of the kids calls and says, "Oh, Mom and Daddy are fighting." But that's where our biggest increase is coming from there. We have some things that are going on right now that I'm going to talk to Kathy about. We've had several bogus bill calls, counterfeit money calls from businesses. Since the 10th of October, we've had 18 such calls. And we're seeing more and more of them. Some of them are really good. The Secret Service has been doing a 2-hour training session during our in-service this fall and looking at a lot of different things, money being one of them. And they were actually here the other day, and the agent that was there said, "This is one of the best I've seen." So they're very hard to determine sometimes, and what we're trying to do is encourage our businesses when we talk to them is to be sure and call us right off the bat so that maybe we can have the opportunity of having the person there and we get to them and find them and then go from there with some additional investigation. There are some things that are going on. I want to remind everybody about safety during the holiday season and shopping, and ladies, take care of your purses or lock them up in the trunk of your car. Don't leave your packages inside the vehicle where they can be seen and people want to break into them. And by all means, please lock the doors on your vehicles. That's not necessarily a break-in on a vehicle, when you think of burglaries, so many of our vehicle burglaries wind up being where a door was left unlocked and someone got in it and stole something from it. Don't leave electronics in the vehicle. When you leave home, know what's going on around you and what's happening around you. Project Blue Light is a program that we've talked about for the last 2 years and doing it again this year, and that is asking everyone to put one blue light either out in front of their home or business or in a window somewhere to remember those in law enforcement who have made the ultimate sacrifice and the families that they have left behind, to honor those families and remember them. We also have a program that we've been involved in for a number of years here in Laverne. But last year we kind of changed things around a little bit, and Tony Craddock handled some things for us last year. It just a little bit of extra added to her job, actually. But and then Thanksgiving food baskets this year, and then again we're doing our Christmas for children and kids. Things have been just a little bit slow coming in. So we want to encourage everybody. I'm going to ask Tony to give you about a minute and a half update on where we are and what we're needing.
So far, we've had 54 families apply for help for Christmas. Of that, there was 143 children. We've adopted out 42 of those children to businesses or departments here. So that leaves us with 101 children and 20 seniors still to provide for. Our donations are at $815, period. And we still have to do the baskets for Christmas for all the families too, either ham or hen, and we get Feed the Children food boxes donated to us. I'm hoping that some of these businesses are going to step up. I've had a few come in, like Bridgestone and different ones, adopting 2 or 3 families. So that's helping a lot. Anybody have any questions?
I got a couple for the chief. On the counterfeit money, what are the denomination money?
20s and 50s is what we've seen. The majority of them are 20s.
And there was a thing on the news the other day about Metro, people leaving their car running in the mornings while they're getting ready. It's against the law in Davidson County. Is it in Rutherford County or maybe in Laverne? Is it a law against that?
You can't leave your vehicle running just anywhere. The problem you run into if you do that, you're going to have a problem with the insurance company. As far as law is concerned, there's nothing in city ordinance that prohibits it. However, you could have big issues with your insurance company, leaving the keys in it and it running and
I know they had
someone being able to get into
I
it.
think Metro's got a.
They have an ordinance
against it.
or a resolution, I guess, since they're metropolitan. The Christmas for children and seniors is something that we're really asking people to look at. I know things are tough. They came through last year big time, and we've got a lot of families that are still hurting in our community, and a lot of people stepping up, and we appreciate that. We had a young couple that came to City Hall this week. My age or so, I would estimate. The husband is blind, and the wife has to use a cane to walk, and they came in with a $300 donation
And a
for that
truckload of
program
toys.
and a truckload of toys. It was absolutely mind-boggling. They live in Antioch.
Oh.
But some of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life, just really good folks, but that's where we are.
And also for the chief, another good report. As you know, we all do the DUI checkpoints during the weekends. Box 100 does go out there and help count the cars, pullovers. While I was sitting in she didn't sit in the truck this time. It was cold, and we had the guy from the state to come down, and we're just sitting in there marking, and he was talking to Lieutenant Goins, and he said, well, you need to go tell that lady up there. And he said, why? He said, because she's the mayor. He actually came up there, and we wondered why they were taking pictures. He said that we had one of the best programs in the state. And that's how we get our grant money. And he said he would make sure that we can, if we continue to do what we're doing, he will continue to make sure we are funded. And I just think y'all need to know that. He continue to brag on Laverne and how proud he is of the progress that they're making here and at the job that they're doing. So that's kudos to that group, and that comes straight from him, straight to me. That's not hearsay. So congratulations, and we love getting those kind of reports, and we appreciate you. Rescue.
Good evening, Mayor Aldermen. For the month of November, we had 1 medical call. We had 23 vehicle accidents. 7 of them were county. We had 60 others, 2 business meetings, 2 trainings, 6 public relations, 6 fundraisers. Our average response time was 4.6 minutes. We had a total of 104. This includes calls in standby. We did a total mileage of 5,786 miles for the month of November with 1,548 man-hours. This standby saved the community $29,690. I would also like to throw in here December the 7th, this Saturday. We are having a Jingle Bell Rock Gift and Craft Fair at the Rescue Squad building from 9 to 3. It's going to be homemade crafts in this area. We're having sausage biscuits and hamburgers for lunch. If anybody wants to stop by and have breakfast or lunch with us. No country ham this time. But December the 14th, we are doing a pancake breakfast with Santa. Santa will be at the Rescue Squad building for anybody that wants to come get their kids taking pictures and have pancakes with us.
Questions? Thank you.
Just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Codes Department.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman. The monthly report for November 2013 is as follows. Single-family dwellings, there were 17 permits issued at a valuation of $2.1 million. There were 5 commercial permits, the cost of $1.1 million. Miscellaneous permits, there were 9 at a value of $52,000. There were 2 signed permits at a value of $10,000. There's 1 grading permit, 3 other, which would include additions and remodels, valuation at $13,800. 2 mobile homes valued at $44,000. There were 4 commercial plan reviews. Total number of permits were 39 for a total valuation of $3.4 million. Plumbing permits were 18 single-family dwellings. Mechanical permits were 17 single-family dwelling, 1 commercial. There's also, if you like, go back on the commercial for the plumbing permits as well. Complaints called in for the month were 31 tall grass, 16 junk cars, 22 other. There were a total of 110 building inspections conducted last month. There were 11 fire inspections for a total of 186 for the year. Our monthly revenue with impact fees was $180,566 year to date, 45 of which being this past month. Total number of single-family permits issued year to date were 54. Total number of single-family permits issued during the same time period last year has been 42. Total number of all permits issued this year to date has been 323. We got hit pretty hard with some residential permits this month.
Yes, we do.
And it's picked up quite a bit. Anybody with any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Parks and Recreation.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman. First off, I want to thank all y'all for coming down for the Seniors Thanksgiving. That was outstanding. We had a good crowd down there that day. Thanks for helping serve. I think we did a pretty good job. Did that pretty quick. See our numbers up there for the month. We have also a Christmas luncheon coming up for the seniors on December 17th. So I'll probably need a little help serving again if somebody wants to come down and give us a hand. Don't forget about our parade coming this weekend, barring any bad weather. Hopefully that's going to stay out of here, but everything is set up and ready to go, and we're going to do it if there's no ice on the roads. So, but other than that, that's all I got. Anybody got any questions?
Is the senior Christmas at night this time?
The luncheon's on the 17th at 11.
Isn't that the city luncheon?
That's a city luncheon? I don't know.
It's the 19th.
That's the senior
Seniors is on the 19th.
The 19th, okay. I got my dates mixed up.
Okay, the seniors is the 19th.
19th.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
A page fell out of my calendar.
But the senior luncheon is during the day.
Yeah. Okay,
All right, so we got that down.
yeah,
All right.
good.
Any questions? Thanks, AC. Finance.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Alderman. Tonight's financial report represents year-to-date up through the end of October, which is 4 months into our fiscal year. For the general fund, expenses have exceeded revenues by approximately $1.9 million. We've collected approximately $1.3 million in sales tax. We're $76,000 better than budget, and we're $46,000 better than where we were this time last year. In the State Street Aid, expenses have exceeded revenues by approximately $686,000. That's due to some paving that we've been doing. That is the reason the expenses are up. In the stormwater, revenue have exceeded expenses by $140,000. And in the water sewer fund, revenues have exceeded expenses by $646,000. On the second page represents our balances in our various bank accounts. And then on the third page is a comparison to prior year. In the general fund, revenues are up $588,000 and expenses are down $93,000 as compared to this time last year. In the water sewer fund, revenues are down approximately $76,000 and the expenses are up approximately $396,000 as compared to last year. Any questions?
Questions? Thank you. Library.
Mayor, Vice Mayor Alderman, good evening. Before I begin, AC wanted to make a little disclaimer there.
Yeah. The Christmas lunch at the Senior Center is 20th, actually. So I'll send out an email. We'll get it straightened out.
Okay, back to the library. In the month of November, we checked out 7,754 books or items. The attendance in the library for the month was 8,006 with an average of 348. We issued 131 new cards. There were 50 programs, library programs, adult and children, with an attendance of 665, and our total computer users were 2,618. The library is currently hosting Food for Fines. So from now until Saturday, December the 14th, if you have an overdue fine at the library and you would like to get that taken care of, you can bring in a non-perishable, unexpired item, donate that, and you will receive a $1 credit toward your fine. So if you have, say, $6 in fines, bring in 6 items, and we will credit that toward your fine, and you will be clear. Now, all of these items that we do that are donated will be given to the Laverne Police Department, and that will go into the kids and seniors Christmas baskets. So we encourage anyone, if you have overdue fines, bring in your items. If you don't have overdue fines, bring in items. We'll take them anyway. Santa is going to be really busy on Saturday, December the 14th. Apparently, after he goes to the rescue squad and gets full of pancakes and sees the children, he's going to end up at the library that afternoon. The children's department's hosting the Magic of Santa, and that's going to be at 2 p.m. Magician Bruce Amato will be there performing his holiday magic show, and he will make Santa appear at 2:30. Santa will share his favorite treat of milk and cookies, and he will be in the library to greet the children, to have photos taken, and to listen to all of their little Christmas wishes and wants. So we invite all of you to come out and join us for that fun day on Saturday, December the 14th. Do you have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Water treatment plant.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman. What we have is our report for the month of October. It's pretty well captioned, our new reporting there. Just to break down a little further some of the basics, during the month of October, we still doing about 2.5 million gallons per day is going into the public. Chemical treatment is just varied with the conditions of the water that's coming in. Our flushing, what we try to do is keep everything fresher in the system. That's why we encourage people to call if they're having problems of any kind with the water, taste or odor complaints. And we're trying to concentrate on those areas to keep good tasting water going around. Expenses for the month were right under $2,900, which leaves us about $25,000 for the remainder of the 3 months. The pressure, the quality calls we had, somewhere about the pressure. Mainly what we do is go out and educate the customer. It's usually about their valve going into their houses out of adjustment, or just explain to them the conditions that they're having. Basically, that's about all I have. Just wanted to take the opportunity. Don't get to see everyone on a daily basis, but to wish everyone a happy and joyous holiday and a very, very Merry Christmas.
Thank you. You have a safe travels as well. I bet you went to see the grandbaby.
I did. We spent almost 2 weeks down there. Hard to get away sometimes.
That's right. Any questions? Thank you. Okay. Public Works.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Alderman. This is for the month of November. You can see the numbers here where we got the 38 loads. I think Ms. Harley may have made a mistake there on the tonnage. It should be around 25,000 tons, but she's put too much. But anyway, she's doing good over there. We got all the Christmas lights up for the year. All of them's working. In the shop, they've been pretty busy. We've been, doing some oil changes in. Police department's still at the Valvoline, but we're starting to mount and balance the tires at the shop instead of sending them out and having them done. Other than that, just a busy month. I would like to say that we're getting a lot of large piles of brush where people's cutting down large trees. That's 2 or 3 loads in a truck, and that's probably a half a day. And a lot of them we're putting out flyers to our door hangers, telling them that we're only taking so much at one time. We don't take the whole pile. So it's just everything's getting too big to carry out. Any questions?
What do you think the reason is they're getting more now that they're cutting for firewood, or just trimming up?
Now a lot of these is trimming up. These are whole trees. A lot of them's cutting the tops out of the Bradford pears. Some of them are contractors coming in and doing it, or them paying somebody to do it, and they're piling it up. I've caught 2 or 3 of them and talked to them, and they've had them come back and haul it off. But we try to let them know that if they have a big pile like that, they can carry it to Florence Road up there. So it's just getting, over off Centennial, we had 3 residents that could have took all day to do all 3 of them. And that's a lot of time and, money to be out there just for them. Because it is a service, and it's got the size limit of like 10 foot, across your yard and about 5 foot high. And, maybe 10 foot back, but it's just, they're piling up 2 or 3 truckloads at a time. So other than that, have no.
We're ready for the
We're ready
snow
for
and ice
if
coming
we have
in.
some ice this weekend. We've got 4 trucks ready to go within 10 or 15 minutes. Just get somebody there to drive it.
Sounds good.
All right,
Thank you, darling. Okay. Utilities?
Good afternoon, Mayor Alderman. Another busy month for utilities. We had 83 work orders in the sewer department, 2 of those being final grinder pump inspections. I wish that number was 0, but we keep getting more grinder pumps. I had 76 hours overtime, most of that being split between pump stations and grinder pumps as well. Water department, 60 work orders, only 1 new meter set, 10 water breaks or leaks. 124 calls responded to, and estimated roughly 11,000 gallons not sold due to those leaks, with 59 and a quarter hours overtime.
And that could get worse with the weather as well.
Yes, ma'am. And as I see the number here has increased in the winter, new to the water. Heard a lot of horror stories. It's not that bad, it's a little cold, but the breaks are coming, more. So,
Any questions? Thank you, Mike.
thank you.
Human Resources.
Good evening, Mayor and Vice Mayor and Aldermen. The Human Resource Report is as follows. We had 6 external jobs posted. We had 63 applicants, 3 actual new hires. Total job interest cards, 27. 2 employee resignations, 2 employee terminations, 2 worker comp claims, 1 liability claim, 75 Care Here appointments, 232 Care Here enrollments, dependent lives covered, 292, employee lives covered, 166, dependent claims, 620, employee claims, 444. Total claim dollars, $289,770. Also would like to report that we completed our OSHA training for compliance training in regard to communication hazard standards, and that was required by all cities, organization companies across the country by December 1st. So the city of Laverne is in compliance. We held our flu shot clinic, and we are scheduled to have open enrollment meetings for benefits Tuesday, December the 10th, and there will be 3 meetings throughout the day, and everyone is expected to attend, and if they're not able to, they need to contact Human Resources after the 10th. The Christmas luncheon will be held on Tuesday the 17th, and we're looking forward to that activity as well. Are there any questions? Thank you.
December's busy. Oh my gosh. As everyone knows, this is our time that we like to introduce to the public the nominations and the winner of Employee of the Month. Well, our HR department has come up with a wonderful way of a nomination form where you now can go online, make your nomination, and then write why you feel this person is worthy of being Employee of the Month. And if you don't mind, I would like to read this. Tony Craddock has worked for the City of Laverne and the Police Department since November 4, 1996. In her 17 years here, she has been responsible for many different duties, including dispatcher, records, secretary, crime scene investigator, evidence, etc. Her job is the most challenging, though she is the executive assistant to the chief, keeping him straight. Tony is very dedicated to doing everything possible to take care of her fellow employees, but not just those in the police department. She also loves the city of Laverne and goes above and beyond. Tony was instrumental in helping collect, account for, and prepare school supplies for our children in 2012. She helped coordinate the collection of food last year for the Thanksgiving for Families in 2012, where we prepared for the first time for the first time with the Rock Springs Middle School to help Laverne's children. Tony headed up our 2012 Christmas for Kids and Seniors last year, and for the first time in the 2+ years I have been here, she provided an accurate accountability of money and items collected and given to Laverne's children and senior citizens. This year she worked extra and many hours on her own to ensure names were collected, additional items were purchased to add to the boxes provided by the Feed the Children, and were distributed properly to almost 60 families by the City of Laverne employees, and an additional 27 families that were supposed to be supported by the Rutherford County RSMS again this year. Tony began in October preparing for 2013 Christmas for Kids and Seniors to ensure everyone on the list are cared for during this wonderful time of the year. Her selfless care, concern, and hard work for others throughout Laverne, in my opinion, should justify her recognition as the December 2013 Employee of the Month. We got you, Miss Tony. Come on up. You don't usually get much over on this lady, but I think we got her this time. City of Laverne Certificate of Appreciation, quit crying, is hereby granted to Tony Craddock for your dedication and hard work for the City of Laverne. The city hereby recognizes you as Employee of the Month for December 2013 and thanks you for the excellent work you do for the City of Laverne. And you have worked so hard to take care of these families, and we love you and we thank you for it. And here you go, you might want to keep this, and you can hold that to hold over him. Wonderful lady, we thank you, Miss Tony, and we appreciate you very much. She's done messed up my makeup now. I can't see through the bifocals. All right, moving right along to old business. We have second reading, ordinance 2013-20, an ordinance of the City of Laverne to amend Title 4, Chapter 3 of the Laverne Municipal Code to establish an updated occupational safety and health program plan, devise rules and regulations, and to provide for a safety director and the implementation of such program.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Number 5, second reading, ordinance 2013-21, an ordinance to amend the 2013-2014 fiscal year general fund budget for fire protection and control.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion to approve and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Our consent agenda, we discussed at great length at the workshop. So do I have a motion to approve or to deny the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next, motion to appoint or remove board members. Let me get to this. Local Emergency Planning Committee, we have 2 terms that are vacant, and that is Stormwater, and I would like to add Kenneth Perkins, and the second, IT, Mr. Glenn Green. I would make that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next is the removal of members from the Stormwater Appeals and Advisory Board. That would be Mr. Thomas Crosno, Miss Tracy Hart, and Mr. Tom Welch. Do I have a motion for the removal of these 3?
Motion to remove.
I have a motion to remove. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 8, first reading, ordinance 2013-22, an ordinance to amend Title 7 of the Laverne Municipal Code regarding the Laverne Fire Department.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. We will do a roll call. Alderman Green.
Aye.
Vice Mayor.
Aye.
Alderman Waldron.
No.
Alderman Roper.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion carries. Next, we have number 9, first reading, ordinance 2013-23, an ordinance to amend the Laverne zoning ordinance as it relates to planned density residential, better known as PDR, zoning district. This received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission in November 2006, November 26, 2013.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Number 10, Resolution 2013-25, a resolution to amend the Personnel Policy and Procedures Manual regarding the nepotism policy.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve before we discuss it.
Okay, I have a motion to approve. I will second that. I will now open this up for discussion.
This might be a HR, or what would be the difference in this and maybe just having the employees come in on a grandfather clause?
Yes, please.
This policy has been enhanced. Basically, we want to ensure that the best qualified applicants are hired regardless. And I think what's happening is we're seeing more cities across the state of Tennessee. And it's also a state statute involved here, in what I'm learning, because most of the cities or the counties will allow for family members to be employed within the city as long as there's no direct reporting relationship or there's nothing that would hinder any activity in regard to unfair or partiality. We want to ensure the quality and the success of the city, and a lot of times the new nepotism policies reflect the fact that it's hard to sometimes fill skilled or certification positions, and we want to ensure that we're able to do so. With the growing number that we see as far as applicants and the qualifications, we want to ensure the fairness and consistency is always met. But there are still stipulations that town council members or aldermen or city officials cannot have family members employed while they're in office or they're appointed. So that will always be protected. But we've done our research. The cities around us, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, White House, where I came from, they all allow employees to have family members. Nepotism is okay, but there cannot be a direct reporting relationship. If it occurs after the employees begin working there, such as marriage or what have you, there are ways that we can go in and navigate transfers appropriately, or again, we have parameters set so that way we can ensure that there is no concern for partial treatment or favoritism due to this concern.
I've got a question for Alderman Waldron. I've had employees tell me you didn't want this because it's going to cause a good old boy system. Can you explain that to us? How's that going to?
I don't know what they're talking about, the good old boy system.
Well, I'm just curious because you've
I
told
would've
employees
thought,
that in the last 3 days because they've came to me.
I would have thought that it was, doing this would contradict that.
But that's what you're telling employees, though.
No, I ain't even talked to no employees.
Okay. So the employees that are coming to me telling me this are lying.
I ain't talked to no employees, city employees.
Well, I don't think they have any reason to lie about it. And I don't understand how it's going to cause a good old boy system by hiring qualified people, whether they're kin to another employee, because none of them are going to be kin to us.
And never will be. And my husband will not be the fire chief. Let's make that clear.
And I mean, they get told stuff like this on a weekly basis from you, and it's time for it to stop. They don't deserve to be put in between stuff that's happening up here on this board. And you can say you're not, but these employees would not lie to us about it. They have no reason to.
But I don't remember talking to no employees. I mean, I wish they'd come to me and say so.
Well, I'm sure I can get them to.
Tell them to come to me.
And also, we did a lot of research online. There have been lawsuits all over the country because, believe it or not, family issues they do fall under the Protected Act. So what we're doing here, I think we're heading some things off that I'm going to be honest with you, I'm surprised it hadn't already come to us before. We've been very fortunate. Again, the one that we've written is very, very strict. If you've read it and read it in great detail, it is very well thought out, and we have to trust in our directors. We have, I think, some of the best directors that we've ever had in this city, and we've got a fantastic city administrator. They do the hiring, they do the firing, we don't even see the resumes up here. So they're not going to do anything that's going to, number one, jeopardize their job or this city, because they love and they care for this city. And I know from experience in the past, we have actually missed some very good employees because they were somebody's stepchild. And they weren't even in the same department, but they weren't even allowed to send a resume in. I think Bruce, I have full confidence in Bruce. I have full confidence in Cheryl and our whole entire HR department. And I have full confidence in you as our directors, guys. Number one, if it was a director, they're not going to, the policies is not even going to allow them to look at the resumes for a family member for their department.
I mean, as far as hiring and firing goes, we never know who's been hired or fired. I hear it weeks later. Nobody calls us. We don't hear about it.
It's between them and HR.
HR and the directors do all that.
And they do the resumes, they do the interviewing, they do it all. And I think they've done an excellent job at doing so. And this board, it is their jobs to do this. I have full confidence in them. And I think we should really give them a little leeway and let them know that, hey, we trust you in your decisions. They're not going to do anything. And I know she does not like dealing with insurance. She is not going to let us do anything, nor Bruce. Because the first question Bruce asked any of you, have you talked to Evan? So he is not going to let anything go on in this city that is illegal. And again, we're going to remind the public, this does not have anything to do with the elected officials. As long as you are an elected official, your family members cannot work for this city. So it has no bearings up here whatsoever to these 5 members. So do I have any more comments? Any more questions for Ms. Cheryl? Any whatsoever? Okay. Thank you. Are we ready for the roll call? We'll do a roll call vote. We'll start with you, Alderman Broker.
Aye.
Alderman Waldron. Aye. Vice Mayor.
Aye.
Alderman Green. And I vote aye. Motion carries. Next, number 11, motion to remove the Senior Citizens Program from the Parks and Recreation Department and create a new separate Senior Citizens Department.
Mayor, I'd like to ask that we defer this one.
Okay.
Do that because there's another possibility we'd like to explore, and I need to take it before the Senior Advisory Committee before we move forward with that.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to
Defer?
defer. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm looking for.
Okay. All those in favor of deferral?
Aye.
Aye. Number 12, motion to approve the recommendations of ESP, Inc. regarding the 2014 employee benefit changes and renewals.
Motion to approve.
Second.
First of all, Bob Shoup is here, and we would like for him to be able to speak and explain the recommendations to you,
Okay.
if that's acceptable to the board.
That's acceptable, Mr. Shoup. And we do have a motion and a second, so This will be opened up for discussion. Please come to the podium.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman. You have in your packet a copy of this letter, and I'm just going to highlight just a few of the items in there. We did receive quotes on the reinsurance from 4 different companies, and then there were 7 other companies who declined. Part of this was there are some restrictions with insurance companies regarding percentage of police and fire to the rest of the city. There's some companies that won't write that, so that did cut down on some of the companies that would have quoted. But we came out very good on the ones who did come in. Just to go back briefly, in 2008 was the last time that we increased what's called the specific stop loss level. Again, you're self-funded, so every individual covered by the plan, the city's responsible for their first $40,000 worth of claims. Once a claim hits that, then your reinsurance policy kicks in and you're reimbursed everything. So the most you could be out on any one person is $40,000. You have a second policy that once all those claims under $40,000 reaches a certain level, then everything is reimbursed. So because of that, there's a box drawn around your risk, and in the worst possible year, we know how much this will cost. So there's no unfunded liability in the program. That's important to know. In 2012, last year, there were 14 individuals that exceeded 50% of that stop loss, and of those, 6 did go over the 40,000 cap. In the previous year, in 2011, there were 13 that hit that mark. But in contrast to that, through October, which is the last month we have total claims, there have only been 12 that exceeded that amount, but only 3 of them exceeded the cap. So there's a trend in the right direction on overall claims. The quote that we received from the current reinsurer, which is Phoenix Standard Security, with no changes in coverage, no change in networks or specific stop loss, is actually a decrease in the fixed costs. And that's the cost you'd pay if you didn't have any claims. That's what you pay for the insurance policies, and you pay for the third-party administrator to process the claims. That is going down 4.7%, or $25,171. That's in comparison to last year. It actually went up 5.6%, or $30,438. The good news and the gifts we bring is that the total cost is going to decrease by $175,659, or 5.6%. And in light of what you've probably heard of other plans and other employers seeing double-digit increases, this is phenomenal. And this is very, very good news. And last year, we had different claims mix, and your cost went up last year, your total cost. But as it turned out, your claims this year have come in very good, even after they anticipated they would go up. There is a $170,000 corridor that is included. It's been on the policy, so there's no change on that. There was a very competitive quote that came in against this one, but there's 2 things that caused us not to use that. One is this $170,000 corridor, and without getting into a lot of detail, once the way you're set up now, once employees go over $40,000, you start immediately getting reimbursement. When those reimbursements reach $170,000, then the city is responsible for the next $170,000. The difference with this other competitive quote is that $170,000 is paid by you first. So you would immediately incur a $170,000 liability. With the current carrier, that's put off until you get $170,000 back. So if you'd have had that competitive quote this past year, it would have cost the city another $170,000. So for that reason, even though they've got some competitive numbers, to about $211,000 difference, we feel like it could turn out really bad based on the claims that we know that are currently in process and could go over into the next year. The other problem with that competitive quote is that they wanted additional health information on each fireman that was coming on to the plan new. And that's because they're concerned about what claims might be out there, but the current carrier doesn't have that requirement. So we get to keep everything like it is, reduce your costs by 5.6% and move on. So that's a very good thing. The last thing, so based on that, I'm recommending that you retain your current Phoenix Standard reinsurance, you retain HCS as your claims payer, and also for them to handle your flexible spending account administration, the Cigna network, and Caremark on the RX. And again, that totally will decrease your cost from last year of $175,000. Last comment is on the reserve, and we're always very conscious of this. On self-funding, the only reason a self-funded plan goes bad is because an employer doesn't properly fund it and keep a reserve that should be there. Actuarially, that reserve needs to run about 13.7% of paid claims. And on the last page, I outlined that. And you should have a minimum in your reserve of $248,250. More would be better. A really healthy plan is when you've got enough in reserve to pay a year's claims. That's what we tell all of our clients, and that's the goal. But at minimum, for the auditor's satisfaction, that reserve needs to be in that neighborhood of 13 to 14%. So those are my comments and recommendation that our firm made.
Okay, Chris has made the motion. Does he need to include the wording retained?
No, because he made the motion on the recommendations that Bob is making.
Excellent. Okay. Perfect. Do we have any questions for Mr. Shue? Thank you very much. Appreciate it. You too. Any more questions or comments? All right. We have a motion and a second for approval. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Motion carries. Number 13, motion to approve the sole source purchase of the PubWorks software for the water, sewer, street, fleet, and stormwater departments.
Mayor, this was originally on the consent agenda, and we took that off because we received a revised proposal from them. The cost that we had at the workshop was $31,000 and something. The revised cost is $26,825, and that will do everything that we need it to do. So that's why it's moved down here under new business, because there was a change in the price since the workshop.
And I was already told that, Glenn, this is compatible, no problems whatsoever.
Right.
Excellent. All right.
Motion to approve.
So I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, we're down to Mayor and Alderman comments. Alderman Green, glad you're feeling better and back with us.
I do feel better. I have something to say about our delivery of the meals for the shut-ins. She called me today, and you know what the weather was like, but it makes no difference. Those people have to eat. So I delivered today. But she told me that if we don't get some people that will deliver in Laverne, that she'll have to quit delivering to Laverne. And that would be very bad. So I'm hoping anybody that's listening to this, if you possibly can, it's really a joy when you deliver the meals and they're so happy. So it is a joy. It does take your time, it takes your gas, but you get a blessing from it. So if anybody can do this, I wish you would. You can either call Kathy or you can call me. You can call and we can get you in touch with Miss Audrey. And it would be greatly appreciated. and I hope everybody has a good holiday.
Thank you. Vice Mayor.
Everybody have a Merry Christmas. Come out to the parade Saturday.
Gonna have fun. Alderman Walburn?
Just Merry Christmas to everybody and Happy New Year, and be safe going home on slick roads, and call Lucy. Lucy would be happy to help y'all with Meals on Wheels.
Okay.
Just give her a call, and that's it. Just be safe.
Alderman Broker?
Same thing. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everyone.
Excellent. All right, I've got a few here. I think Vice Mayor's already told us we've got the parade Saturday night, tree lighting, fireworks. We will have it unless road conditions are hazardous. And when we say hazardous, that means ice or snow on the roads, which we're not looking at that, but who knows with this weather. But we will have it. If you have any questions or concerns, if you think there looks icy or whatever, stay tuned. We will be showing it on Facebook, and we have it on the city site as well. So we will keep everybody abreast of what's happening on Saturday. Also, this is the last meeting for 2013, and I will say we'd like to welcome the new Speedway. We're seeing progress for that down across from Fergus Road. We've got a new Dollar General coming across the interstate on Waldron Road. And guys, I can tell you 2014, going to have some good stuff happening. Can't wait to announce it. You see Kristen and Tom and Kathy and Sherry, we're all got a big grin on our face. And it's going to be a great year in 2014, and can't wait for it to come down the pike. December 19th, we do have swearing in of our new officers at 2 o'clock. So, board members, if you can, please join us in welcoming our new officers. Toy drive. Please, 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 if you've got a little extra, please help us get toys and gifts to these children. And if you want, police department, if it's more convenient, you may drop them off here at City Hall. We'll run them across to the police department for you. But please, let's make sure these children and seniors have a good Christmas. And fire.
December,
yes.
What is the swearing in of our...
December the 19th at 2 o'clock. It will be here in the boardroom. And I also want to send out a great big thank you to our newest partner here in Laverne, and that is Feed the Children. Oh. It was absolutely phenomenal what they did for our families during Thanksgiving, and they're going to be helping us again at Christmas. We've already had a lot of the citizens go over and donate their time in helping feed the children, and they have just been a blessing to this community. If you see any of them out, Tim Marchbanks is over the Feed the Children. Give them a big special pat on the back and say thank you, because they have truly stepped up to the plate. They have not been here but a couple of months, and they've already taken Laverne and the areas around under their wing. So they have been a true blessing to this city. And I think this city has been very, very blessed this last year. And please remember that when we're all celebrating, remember how blessed we are. We're very blessed to have our employees, the department heads that we have. Thank you so much for stepping up to the plate and making this the great city that it is. It's because of all of you. It's because we're where we're at today and where we're going in the future. And I want to say thank you, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. And I call this meeting of 2013 adjourned.